And on Spotlight is South African-based Nigerian musician Femi Koya, who is getting set to release his third studio album. Do check it out.
Nigerian-born South African-based musician Femi Koya has been described as the new face of the African Renaissance in many quarters. The saxophonist, who is heavily inspired by African music greats including Fela Kuti and Hugh Masekela, combines Afrobeat and jazz, gospel and blues with West African highlife to chart his course within the world of rhythm and notes. Born in a Juju musical family with a brother, Kola Koya, who has achieved international stardom with his Afrobeat jazz fusion, Femi's turn to music was inevitable. He, however, had an initial personal struggles in finding his space within the music world.
We unite to protect our heritage, to preserve and develop our culture. We unite to fight.
I wasn't sure if I really want to play Afrobeat, but it's in the blood because it's what you listen to while you're growing up. And I think the late Fela Kuti is everything Africa. I think he's the god of African music. What actually changed my mind to go back to Afrobeat is one of the people who changed my mind is the late Hugh Masekela. We spent some time, like about a week and a half together. We did few things together, and we sat and he listened to my album, my old album, and he said to me, frankly, he said, Femi, you know, the songs on the album are beautiful, but the Afrobeat songs that you have on the album, they are fantastic. They have been all over the world. I've seen people perform Afrobeat music. I've seen people play Afrobeat. They don't have it. You've got it, and you have to stick to it. So I thought, why do I have to play any other thing? If I'm good at Afrobeat, why don't I stick to it? And because it's unique and it's true to me and I'm true to it. So I deem it fit to follow it.
His exposure to music from Fela and Hugh Masekela birthed in him a conscious love for the African culture and sound. His 2005 debut album, Just a New Town, is an ode to his country of residence, South Africa. His Yoruba heritage, however, became the big focus on his sophomore titled Iba, a Yoruba word which means homage.
Our culture is what we need to stick to. That's what makes the difference out there. For example, if I find myself in Australia or wherever in the world, and people will be like, hey, play me something I've never heard before. I can't go and be playing jazz. I can't go and be singing different songs. But when I sing Babalawo Mowa Bebe, they'll be like, wow, you know, that's authentic to them, you know, and it ought to be authentic to us as well.
From Namibia to Senegal, from Kenya to Nigeria, Ethiopia to Uganda, Mozambique to Uganda.
Like it comes to that level where you get to Nigeria, it's like you say, Bawonio, Ekason, all they want to say is they want to speak English back to you. And then you wonder, you'll be like, man, I've been wanting to speak Yoruba for a long time, you know, to speak Yoruba with my people, and then I get home, want to speak Yoruba, and then someone is speaking English back to me. It's like, you know, so it's like, it's more or less like, it's that kind of thing that, you know, gets into me, and I feel like I need to start bringing back not just the Yoruba culture, because I don't want it to be like a tribalistic thing. You know, it has to be a Nigerian thing, an African thing, because you have to see yourself first as being an African before seeing yourself as a Nigerian or a Yoruba or anybody else.
To promote his soon-to-be-released third album, Koya has dropped the new single Babalawo, a common folkloric sound from southwest Nigeria.
It's a song that we sing while we're growing up. It's a story, it's a storytelling song. And what made me actually put the song together on my first single and rearranged it is because I feel like we're actually losing our culture. We're actually losing out on our heritage. And for me, I deem it fit that, you know, I need to keep people aware, keep myself aware first of where I came from, you know, because I believe that if you want to go somewhere in life, you need to know where you're coming from, where you are and where you want to go. So Babalao for me, it's a song that actually, it also pays tribute to great African musicians, the African legends from the likes of Fela Kuti, you know, the late Fela Kuti, to the recently late Hugh Masekela. You know, they stood for what I think Africa it's all about.
Born Olufemi Koya in Lagos, Nigeria, his musical inclinations were evident from early childhood when he used to dance with traditional drummers in his father's compound. After dabbling on piano and trumpet, he eventually settled for a saxophone.
My contribution to Afrobeat shouldn't just be like any Afrobeat song. Since I'm seen as the new face of the African Renaissance, I believe in the positivity of all things African. I thought, let me start from home. Let me start from where I am actually from the Yoruba culture. Let me start from there. So I thought, okay, let me go back to the songs, bring Ajaduro Romileru, you know, songs that we sang while growing up, and revive them. But instead of reviving them in kind of like smooth jazz or swing or funk or whatever, I thought, but I could put this on Afrobeat. And that's what I'm doing.
Zimbabwe to Mali, Nigeria to South Africa.
Following in the footprints of some African music greats before him, Femi Koya is making the message about African unity his chief content. And though his musical career is just about 3 albums long, he hopes someday his musical fusion will demonstrate the path to a new and culturally integrated Africa.